one of the core principles of evidence-based medicine is that evidence alone is not enough. And that's because when evidence is used alone without any input from the patient that it's impacting, it can become like a bad dictator. For example, if a hospital publishes a policy that says everybody needs to have high-dose Pitocin, everybody needs to have their membranes ruptured as early as possible in an induction, and they don't include alternatives or reasons why you might want to decline that and have a slightly different path in an induction, that is an example of misusing evidence. That's because there's no one single right decision for everybody, and everybody's situation is slightly unique. Another example would relate to epidurals for pain management. Research has shown that epidurals are the most effective form of pain management during labor. However, for some people, their values, goals, and preferences, or a unique medical condition might mean that they should try to avoid an epidural if at all possible, unless it truly became medically necessary. Or you might have somebody who absolutely needs an epidural during labor based on their unique situation or their preferences. And you also might have some people who fall into a gray area, where they need to weigh the pros and cons, and decisions may differ depending on who they are and what they have going on in that moment. Also, everyone has underlying biases that can affect our decision making. And a lot of the time, we're not even aware of our own biases. There's a great book out there called Your Medical Mind by Dr. Jerome Groban and Dr. Pamela Hartzman. In their book, they describe the difference between doubters and believers, minimalists and maximalists, and naturalists and technology lovers. Some of you right now might be categorized more as a medical doubter. You might approach medical treatment or medical advice with skepticism. On the other hand, you might be a believer, where you believe that there's always a medical solution from your doctors for your problems. And a lot of times I have found that this type of underlying bias may come from experiences you had as a child, teenager, or young adult, where your personal experiences with the healthcare system either reinforced your belief in medical treatments or your doubt.